Chinese company buys U.S. educational website used by the military. Japanese foreign minister warns of Chinese-Russian military cooperation in Asia. Unfinished construction works of corrupt Chinese officials throws taxpayer money out the window. New era marriage, China to launch pilot projects amid falling birth rate.
A Chinese private equity firm has silently bought a tutoring firm with contacts with the U.S. military and K-12 schools nationwide. The Wall Street Journal reported on May 8th that a Hong Kong-based Primavera Capital Group acquired Tutor.com, a popular education website operated by the Princeton Review on January 11, 2022. Princeton Review is owned by Korean firm ST Unitas, known for its test preparation and college admission services. In addition, it offers free tutoring services to active duty and reserve service members and civilian Defense Department personnel. The company also has contracts with several school districts, such as Los Angeles, Paterson in New Jersey, and Loudoun County in Virginia, to offer online assistance with homework and tutoring in various subjects. It is also approved as a vendor by the education departments of Texas, New Hampshire, and other states. The acquisition needed more publicity. The Wall Street Journal said there was no press release from Primavera, and the private equity firm's list of 54 portfolio investments does not include Princeton Review or Tutor.com. It happened so quietly that some school administrators said they had no idea about the deal until the Wall Street Journal's inquiry. Some of its clients were also left in the dark. The company emailed its tutors about the leadership change 2 days after the deal was struck. The notice reassured them that everyday interactions with the company would stay the same. Princeton guaranteed with the publication that Primavera would have no access to student or school data, nor its international systems. Further, it added information shared with Primavera could only happen in a way that does not reveal personal or identifiable details. The company said that U.S. regulators authorized the deal this month. Concerns about the Hong Kong firm's involvement prompted Main Street Caucus Vice Chair Representative Stephanie Bice to issue a letter to President Biden and Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen on May 12th. She wrote, as Fox News cited, "This acquisition is deeply concerning as organizations based in China are routinely forced to share their data with the Chinese government, compromising any data users may believe to be private. Data that Tutor.com possesses will include information on users and tutors and could be exploited by the Chinese Communist Party." Japanese Foreign Minister Yoshimasa Hayashi raised his concern about military cooperation between China and Russia in Asia as the Beijing-Moscow partnership draws closer. AP News reported that during a meeting of foreign ministers from Europe and the Indo-Pacific on May 13th, hosted in Sweden, Hayashi criticized Beijing for its military aggression and continuing and intensifying its unilateral attempts to change the status quo in the Indo-Pacific, including East and South China Seas and Taiwan. Hayashi warned about Beijing-Moscow military cooperation, saying China and Russia are strengthening their military collaboration, including joint flights of their bombers and joint naval exercises in the vicinity of Japan. While Japan strongly supported Ukraine in the war, the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, said it maintained a neutral position. Beijing instead focuses on building a no-limits relationship with Moscow. Beijing also blames the U.S. and NATO for instigating the conflict. In March, Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida visited Ukraine when Chinese leader Xi Jinping met with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow. Last week, for the first time since the Russian invasion of Ukraine, the European Union proposed sanctions against 7 Chinese companies for helping Russia's war machine. In another move, NATO plans to open its liaison office in Tokyo next year. The office will help NATO to consult with Japan and critical allies in the region like South Korea, Australia, and New Zealand as the CCP regime poses a systemic challenge. In an interview with CNN last week, Hayashi said that Russia's invasion of Ukraine leaves Japan to rethink regional security.
Liu Qiang, the former vice governor of Liaoning province, was sentenced to 12 years in prison. He recently made headlines with the $17.2 million iron ring he built during his tenure. People liken this big ring to a handcuff. It has also become a symbol of corrupt and unfinished projects by Chinese officials. The iron ring in Fushun City, Liaoning province, is named the Ring of Life. It has a diameter of 574 feet, or 175 meters, equivalent to the height of a 50-story building, with a total steel weight of 3,500 tons. Liu Qiang wants people to remember it as the Halo Ring. Some Chinese official media also praised it as having a deep meaning, but many mock it as a contraceptive ring or a useless construction for display. Now everything is back to zero, like the ring's shape. A few days ago, Liaoning province officially confirmed that through corruption, Liu Tiang gained much money from the Ring of Life project. Therefore, the construction is now considered a symbol of corruption and must be dismantled. Corrupt officials first spent hundreds of millions of yuan to build these projects, and then hundreds of millions more to destroy them. People's tax money is thus wasted under the dictatorship, but very few cases have been exposed. Some other notable examples of corrupt and unfinished projects are, according to the Global Times, Yang Zhentiao, dismissed from his position as vice governor of Anhui province, built two key projects in 2016. The first was Huainan Jigao Shenzhou Happy Park, and the second was Huainan Olympic Park. The two projects' total cost is $1.12 billion, and both are unfinished. Li Jia, former party secretary of Zhuhai City, Guangdong province, was criticized for being in charge of promoting tram projects in Zhuhai, but delayed the construction time again and again, causing a massive waste of budget. Li Jia is one of the senior deputy party secretaries of 15 Chinese prefecture-level cities, but is extremely unruly and brutal. For example, according to Sina, in March 2014, during an investigation in Nanping Town, Zhuhai City, some villagers had to kneel before him to express their wishes. As a result, Li Jia ordered 5 villagers to be detained for obstructing traffic. The longest was jailed for over 3 months. Hancheng City, Shanxi province spent $27.3 million to build the Carp Leaping Over the Dragon Gate landscape. On the other hand, Dushan County, Guizhou province invested $36.8 million to build the Shuixi Tower, and the Rainwater and Sewage Diversion Project in Nanjing, Jiangsu province was cancelled because Ji Jianyue, the Nanjing former mayor, was investigated for the loss of $2.58 billion in investments. The most significant example is the giant 188 feet high Guangdong statue in Jingzhou City, Hubei province, which cost $24.8 million, but was declared an illegal construction. The relocation of the project cost another $22.2 million. Huang Jiajie, former deputy secretary general of the city, was also jailed. Then there is the Cultural Corridor in Hekou, Yunnan province, built for $38.8 million. It cost another $43.1 million to dismantle it 3 years after its completion. Finally, the $10 million Chinese poet Liu Zongyuan statue in Guangxi province was intended to be the tallest bronze statue in China. However, it was demolished before completion. We don't have time to mention many other useless and costly constructions in China. They are all masterpieces of Chinese officials who want to get rich through corruption. As the Chinese Communist Party's Xinhua News reported, 663 grandiose projects across China have been suspended. However, Chinese officials are still building other constructions tirelessly because they have the opportunity for corruption. According to the Wall Street Journal, as of the third quarter of 2022, the total debt of China's local authorities exceeded the total government debt of Germany, France, and Italy. The CCP's severe local debt problem is an inescapable nightmare under China's rise and has pushed the CCP to the brink of collapse. Beijing announced that it would launch pilot projects in 20 cities to boost the falling birth rate, to build a new era marriage and childbearing culture. Chinese tabloid Global Times reported on May 14th that China's Family Planning Association made this announcement. This national body implements the regime's population and fertility measures ahead of the International Day of Families on May 15th. The main focus of the projects includes promoting marrying and having offspring at appropriate ages, encouraging parents to share child-rearing tasks, and curbing high bride prices and other outdated customs. Yao Ying, a vice president of the association, said, "These pilot regions are expected to take innovative and proactive measures to help foster childbearing-friendly atmospheres and contribute to advancing Chinese modernization, with the support from the high-quality development of the population." The pilot projects cover cities such as Guangzhou and Handan Manufacturing Hub in Hebei Province. In 2022, the association already launched a pilot program in 20 cities, including Beijing. Demographer He Yafu told the Global Times, "The society needs to guide young people more on the concept of marriage and childbirth." Reuters reported that those projects are part of a flurry of measures Chinese authorities are rolling out to encourage residents to have children, including tax incentives, housing subsidies, and free or subsidized education for having a third child. From 1980 until 2015, China had a strict one-child policy, which was the cause of many of its demographic problems, and helped India overtake China as the world's most populated country. Since then, the limit has been increased to 3 children. In March, the government's political advisors proposed that single and unmarried women should have access to egg freezing and IVF treatment, among other services, to increase the nation's fertility rate.